good at taking over new populations. That's why every year we have a different flu shot. Because every year we have about 4 or 5 influenza strains that are new. And by the way, flu shots might work if those 5 strains they predicted are the only ones you encounter, but often people will say flu shots don't work because statistically it's hard to guess which mutations will become most common before they're in our population. Primate immunodeficiency virus infects primates, and of course, like all other viruses, makes a lot of errors. So inside every monkey that has PIV, you would find a lot of primate immunodeficiency virus affecting their body, and then a bunch of random viruses that aren't doing anything. Some dude in Africa, or woman, was butchering a monkey for bushmeat. And most likely, there was blood-to-blood transmission in the butchering process with a hand injury. It's pretty hard not to get that blood into your bloodstream. The PIV did not infect humans because obviously it's a primate disease. But in that one sick monkey, there was some amount of mutated virus that could live in that human. That was the first human case of HIV. It became HIV when the mutated PIV went into the human. It was not HIV yet. What? Early 80s, late 70s. Yeah. We were filming. It actually didn't spread that fast. So the funny thing is, that HIV did not spread very quickly in Africa. And as a matter of fact, it may have been latent in Africa for a very long time. Some people suggest that this transmission first happened in the 60s. But there was this one guy that many people have called the first super patient. He was a international flight attendant. What's that? Like a typhoid Mary. He was the AIDS mark or whatever. And this dude contracted HIV through probably sex with another man in Africa. And because he was an international flight attendant, he would rock and roll everywhere he ended up. And so he arguably seeded HIV throughout the developed world.
That's what I was about to ask.
What? Now you're angry at that guy?
Yeah, that person.
I was about to ask, why did people come over?
Do they know that he was?
I believe that they do.
You must get egged so often.
Wait, hold on a second. Wait. I'd like to add something. Let me give you another vocabulary term, and we'll come back to this conversation. It is, excuse me. Yes. An emergent disease is a disease which is becoming more common. And remember, you may all be the typhoid Mary of a new disease. We're just not sure what your disease is yet. So before you get all outraged about Mr. Mario or whatever, quell your outrage for a moment. It could be you. The whole point of an emergent disease is we don't know it yet. It is emerging. So every time you go to the doctor and you're like, hey, I've got like a blah, 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 and a blah, 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 well, the doctor's going, ooh, let this not be the next HIV. Like by the time you know that you're sick, who knows how many people you've contacted. One of the problems with HIV is it takes a really long time for you to know you're sick. The dude was shagging all over the world for like a decade. Before he started to have symptoms.
How did they find him out? Like, did he come forward?
No, but I guess they had already discovered what the disease was before they discovered him. I'm not exactly sure about that. By the way, I believe at some point in life she was so, and I met Bob of the work.
You just like gave AIDS to all the community.
Yeah, this is why it was considered to be a gay man's disease first, because the odds were not likely that it would happen to men in particular. Gay men are less than 10% of the world's population. And so it was much more like the first human case was probably straight men. And then somehow different types of statistically it would have been straight men, more likely. And then, or woman, and then through other forms of transmission, it may have meant to be targeted at gay men. Of course, gay men don't impregnate each other, so historically they haven't had to worry about birth control as much. And so then the transmission rates were higher. But if it hadn't been him, if it had been a woman who was very sexually active, it could have, or a straight man who was sexually active, it could have actually wiped out like our species. It's a really interesting question.
So that's because if it hit, like, if it was specific gay, you need to be talking about that hit, like,
That's right. That's right. That's right.
but if it wasn't for that gay guy, it might not have been any issues at all.
I believe that you guys are not being serious, but heads up on that.
Yeah.
Okay, where is your
What? She's gay.
Why would I even matter?
Yeah, like,